So everyone, welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to continue the 10 question segment with 10 questions of Vancouver Canucks. The new look Vancouver Canucks are not really new, but moderately switched up a bit. Canucks face going into the 2013-2014 season. Without further ado, number 10, did they make the right call on Roberto Luongo? Time will tell. Cop-out answer on that one. I think there's a couple questions pertaining to Luongo later on in the piece. Actually, one big question, but it is what it is. I think they made the deal to get the best possible return they could. I think it would have been tough to get that top 10 pick from anyone for Luongo because no one wanted to take on that deal, and amnestying Luongo probably wouldn't have worked. I mean, no one wants to pay someone $30 million to not show up. This is a little more than that, but you catch my drift. And number 9, was it the right call on Tortorella? Yes and no. Again, cop-out answer. They needed the change of pace from Vigneault. Just his message was falling on deaf ears. But Tortorella may be a little bit overly abrasive. Do you really want one of the Sedins breaking their foot blocking a shot? Because obviously that's what he preaches. And do you want one of them benched in a big game down the stretch because they didn't block a shot? I think that it's really kind of a soap opera with this team, and it's going to continue by bringing in Tortorella. Number 8, what rookies will they see? Vancouver revamped their farm system this year. They got a great return for Schneider, for the former Bo Horvat. They got Hunter Shinkaruk later in the draft, later in the first round. They got Jensen, they got Gauntz. They got some really talented forwards in the system. Having said that, I think Jensen's only they'll see next year. I think he's ready for some big time ice time. Maybe not out of camp right off the bat, but I think he'll see time. The Danish forward as the season goes on. He's a hell of a player, and he'll start in the AHL Chicago, but eventually end up, I think, up with Vancouver. I think he's up for a little bit last year, but I don't think he's going to be up to start the year. More season in the AHL never hurt anyone. Number 7, will the Vancouver native Zach Hamill make the team this year? No. Someone actually I wasn't planning on putting this in the top 10, but I just think it warranted being mentioned. He's a top 10 pick by the Boston Bruins in the 2007 draft. Got traded to the Capitals. Really never established himself as a bona fide high-end scorer at the NHL at the professional level, like he did. In the Western Hockey League, being one of the top scorers for the Everett Silvertips. In 2007, 2008. So, but is what it is with him. I think never hurt to bring him in for a look, but I think he'll spend most of the year with the Chicago Wolves. Might get up for a little bit, but he's not anything to write home about. And it's a Bruins fan that hurts, because I would have liked to have seen him turn into a bona fide playmaking first line center, but that's not the case with him. Number 7, number 6, will Ryan Kessler stay healthy? Again, cop-out answer. I think he will, and I think he'll be a big part of the U.S. Olympic team. But that hips, it's tough when you play a sport that's so reliant upon lateral motion and everything else that comes with moving your hip. The wear and tear to still be there and be able to play and produce at a top level. I mean, the last time he played a full season, he had 40 goals a couple years ago. So there's something to watch right there. Oh no, he had 75 points, and he had 40 goals one year and 75 points another year, back-to-back years. I forget which one was which, but that was the last time we played a full season, 82 games. Number 5, backup goalie. It's going to be Eddie Lack, Swedish goalie, 25-year-old guy, seasoned, knows what he's doing. Maybe the next Schneider, maybe you move him down the line, but he'll back up Luongo for the season. Number 4, is there a big trade in the works? Possibly. Again, cop-out answer. They have prospects to trade for the first time in a long time now. I think the front office staff is a little less likely to deal away those prospects because they want to see them develop. They want to have some more homegrown infusion of talent into the team in the next couple of years. But at the same time, if they can get a good return, i.e. their defensemen, that'll definitely help them out going forward. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. Number 3 and 2 are actually a two-part question. Number 3, who will be the third wheel of the Sedins? Possibly Burrows, but I think Zach Cassian will get the look to start the season. I like his game. I think he's got upside. And the second part of that question is, can he score 20 goals with Sedins? Yes, and I think he'll allow them room to operate. in terms of being tenacious, forechecking, keeping defensemen honest, defending them if they're, if they get a high stick or whatever, not allowing other teams, tough guys to intimidate them, and I think that's his role. But I also think he can stumble into 20 goals just from going to the net, and the way they pass the puck and the creativity and chemistry they have. Seemingly anyone that lands on a line with him does pretty well. So I think Zach Kassian gets that look. I mean, this is his third year of pro hockey, so I think it's really make or break for him. But I think he'll do just fine if he gets that ice time, if he continues to develop and reel back on the borderline, unintelligent plays he's been known to make in terms of stupid penalties and stuff like that. That'll work to his advantage, as those plays usually work to his detriment, as we saw him in juniors and throughout the minor league levels. Number one, will this be the biggest train wreck ever, or will they be one of the best teams in the National Hockey League? It's going to be tough. They're playing a tougher division now in the Pacific Division, and Tortorella's a eccentric personality, and we know what Strongbone one is. He's kind of both ends of the spectrum there. And, maybe the yin and the yang works, but it'll be interesting to watch. If there was ever a hockey team that warranted a reality show, i.e. like the Kardashians, this year's Vancouver Canucks team could be just that, because Tortorella's primetime entertainment by himself. And as a Boston fan, you don't want to say this, but I love Luongo because of his Twitter feed. You really see different personality, different side of him that you don't see throughout. And I just think it's the clashing is going to be awesome. They're gonna have a falling out at least once. One of the Sedins isn't going to block a shot and get berated by Torts, and players going to zone him out. He's going to call someone a pussy for diving or whatever. It's just going to be amazing to watch, and I'm kind of excited to watch this team because they've got a lot of talent, and I'm not going to say they can challenge the Pacific Division, but they'll be interesting to watch off the ice as much as on the ice. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's some sort of the power play of CJ, the 10 question segment for the Vancouver Canucks going into the 2013-2014 season. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.